Hi, everybody. Hello. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you keep the taps going until I'm done? I appreciate that. Hello. Welcome all you new people. Hello. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. Hi, Paco. Hi, all my moderators. Thanks for helping earlier and thanks for helping today. I appreciate your help. Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you. How do you get a reading? There's my profile. If you click under the link under, it'll take you to my Facebook page. That's how you schedule. Just message me and I can schedule a reading with you. Hello? Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for following me. Appreciate this. Thank you for the taps. I'm just waiting just until a little bit more people to get on, and then I'll explain how I do this. Some new people around right now. Hello. Hello. Thank you. So let me explain who I do and what I do, what I am and what I do. So I'm a psychic medium. I'm more of a medium than a psychic. All mediums are psychics. Not all psychics are mediums. So I was born with this gift. I had it my entire life since I was a baby. Things are always entertaining me and talking to me since I was a little boy. I've been haunted my entire life. I've seen things. I've a lot of experiences, a lot of stories in my life. So yes, I was born with this gift. It was chosen before I was even born. And I later on decided to go and get certified in doing this because I wanted to be different, a little separate from other mediums because I wanted to know what I was doing, what it was all about, and all that. And it made sense to me. And now I'm certified, and I teach this course to other people now. Thank you. I have done readings in front of 700 people before. I've traveled around Montana doing small groups readings. I've done a lot of readings. I mean, you name it, I've done so many readings. I have my own radio show. As you guys have watched me on here earlier, that's my radio show I do every Sunday. Then I come on here and then do my free readings here, deliver messages. Hello, everybody. So that's how I do it. There's different kinds of mediumship out there. What I got is called trance medium. So I go through a partial trance and I'm alert at the same time. And trance mediums, this is pretty rare, but trance mediums can do this. But it's really rare for mediumships to do this. It's called automatic writing. And what I do is you'll see me looking around and I'm focused, and that's how I'm able to channel through. And it's all about energy. This is just a board that just helps me to scribble. That's all it is. Otherwise, I'll be going through a lot of paper. But that's how I do it. I just look. And if you think of the needle on the record, that's kind of how it works with me. I just how the energy comes through. It's hard to explain, but that's how it works. It goes right through me. And I'm able, I get more grounded that way when I'm doing it, and I'm able to, and then I guess the second part would be the mental mediumship kicks in. What people would say was my third eye, and I'm able to see spirits on the other side and give them validation. Now, I don't do anything creepy. I don't mess with the occult. I don't do any dark witchcraft or satanic stuff or anything like that. Just so everybody knows, I'm a Christian. I wear, see, right there. The only time I take it off is when I'm showering. I'm a Catholic, so always have my holy rosaries with me. I just hold on to them all the time. They've been blessed, so that's even more power with them. And then but that's just my thing. It's what works for me. And everybody's different when they do it, but this is how it works for me. Now, understand that validation is always the truth, and a good medium should be doing a lot of free readings. A good medium should be giving out a lot of validation, and that's how you're going to know a real good medium. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. And another thing is, there's no way for me to be a scam, because scammers don't do free readings, obviously, and scammers don't give validation, obviously. So you're gonna get these weirdos that come on here, these whack jobs, and these religious nuts that are gonna sit there, think they know what they're talking about. Thank you for the gifts. And try to throw me off. I got good moderators on here that will get rid of them, but you know, they're just troublemakers. These people really had an issue with me. They would message me privately. I don't connect with the dead. I don't know any mediums that do that. That's Old Testament stuff. That's called necromancy. That's back in those days. Those mediums would charge people a lot of money to sit next to the dead and try to connect with them. It's not healthy. It's not good to do that. And I don't do necromancy. And that's talking to the dead. I don't talk to the dead. I talk to spirits up here. The light is life, right? So when I deliver that, when I'm able to deliver messages to you and give you validation of your loved one that I would not know, you're going to know it's them. Does that make sense to you guys? My readings are about healing and validation. That's all it's about. I'm just the messenger. Hello, everybody. It's basically it. I don't make anything up. If I get stuck, I'll try to figure out what's going on. If it's the reader, if it's me, or if it's how I'm wording it. But I try to work on it and try to figure things out. I don't like them. I don't mess with people. I don't lie to them. Because if I do that, it will mess up my readings in the future, and it's bad karma, and I won't do that. I know some people that do it. I won't do it. It's not good. Bad. So when I do connect with your loved one, they will show themselves to me looking young. Thank you. So like elderly people, when they die, they always look to me like in their 20s. Little kids, when they die, they grow up to about 20s. Nobody gets old in heaven. I do not connect with babies. I do not connect with pets, just so everybody knows that. How can I have a conversation with a toddler or a baby? It's impossible. Pets, I have not learned how to do that, but I do see people's pets on the other side with their loved ones. So if your dad didn't have a dog, but you had two dogs that passed away at some point, your dad might be taking care of those dogs up there. So that's what they do. Our loved ones do take care of our pets on the other side, and they also have their pets with them. Like I said, I don't see them. How you guys remember them, and how if they were on their thank you for the gifts. If they were on their deathbed, suicide, murdered, or addicted, I don't see them ill or anything. They always look healthy to me. They won't. Sometimes they don't even tell me this how they died unless I ask them. But at the validation of what I'm getting you, what they look like, and anything else is what it's all about. Understand that spirit will only give you messages that you need, not what you want to hear. So people are always coming here assuming they want more and more of a reading, even with my phone readings. I gotta tell people it's real. I don't. It's just what they are. I can't make a spirit to talk more than they want. It's all about the healing for you. It's about the validation that's going to help you heal and move forward in your life and your journey. That's what it's all about. So on here, how I do it is I do the videos. So I'll just click on there and I just kind of go with it. That's how I do the videos on here. I don't pick names off here, just so everybody knows. I don't pick the names because on here, everybody on here has fake names. I even have a fake name on here. And I have more luck. No, I want you guys to understand this. If you guys want me to pick names, then I need more people to follow me on my Facebook page because I'm just barely starting up that Facebook page. And when I'm starting that page up, that's when I start picking names. There's no video. I just pick the names because I can see people's real names. And that's where Spirit works to me to push to get the names, if that makes sense. And it's under my bio. It's the same one that you would message me if you want to schedule a private reading. There's a link under there. Click it. And then just follow and like it. So like when I do free readings, when I'm able to do that, that's how I do it. I don't pick names off of here, just so everybody knows. So you might as well stop asking and bugging about connecting with people on here because that's not how it is. I just go on here with the videos. Okay, I'm not. That's why I do it on here in this way. It's because I'm trying to prove that there's life after death. To show people I'm legit. That I'm not like these fakes on here. That's why I do that. Same with my Facebook page. That's why I do it that way, to prove to people. Because people are talking on here, I can't see everything that they're saying when I'm doing the readings, and they later read it and then get validation back. My radio is the same way, my radio show. So I mean, if you guys see me and how I do this after a while, if you guys follow me on my social media, you'll understand how I do it. I cannot, I don't mix anything up. There's no way for me to know anything about your lives, your grandparents. Another thing is, there's I get some of these weirdos on here that say, oh yeah, you can find that stuff on social media. You can find that on the computer or Facebook. You cannot find what your grandma looked like when she was in her 20s. You don't know. Nobody puts that stuff on there. You don't know that this girl's got murdered and how many people were there when she got murdered. If she comes forward and tells me that. She does. I mean, there's certain things that they're going to tell me that is not ever going to be on Facebook. Nobody puts certain personal things about that on Facebook, for one. And if anybody can debunk me on any of these readings, feel free to do it. If you can find that stuff on the social media to prove it to me, then go ahead. I love it for people to debunk me for once, instead of sitting there trying to throw people off and try to say I'm a scam or I'm a fake, when I'm obviously showing obvious evidence that I'm legit. I'm not here. I'm not even here to prove anything to anybody. If people are on here and they're so skeptical and they don't believe me, then they don't need to be here. They can go. I'm not here forcing anybody to watch me on my videos. If you're going to be an a-hole, go. There's places where you can be an a-hole at. If I'm boring you, go. There's places on here where people are dancing to stupid stuff and trying to mimic music and get a lot of likes. If that's your thing and that entertains you, go. I'm not for you. Go. If you're an evil person in your head, or you think that you know it all in your head, this ain't for you. Go. And if you're a religious freak, yeah, they have rooms in here for you too. Go. This ain't for you. I already read the Bible. I've got people throw it at me all the time. I get judged 24/7. And most of these Christians on here, these Christian fundamentalists, there's Christians and then there's Christian fundamentalists. The Christian fundamentalists are the ones that are judging all the time. They're always judging me. But I tell them, I'm like, if you have an issue with me, then pray for me, right? A real Christian prays for me. They don't sit there and judge me on here. A real Christian, if they had an issue, would message me on here, but they don't. They try to play this narcissistic bullcrap where they try to get other people together to go against me, and it never works for them. I got good moderators on here that kick them out. So what I'm gonna make sure you guys follow these gift givers. I don't ask anybody for gifts. But these people are awesome to do that. Thank you for giving gifts. You guys are sweet. Thank you. All I ask is that you please keep those taps going. If you want to share this video so it helps other people, please do it. And just sit back and watch me how I do this. I mean, I'll give as much validation and much healing as I can, what Spirit wants to show, okay? I hope I explained everything to you guys, how I do this and who I am, okay? Welcome all you new people. Make sure you follow me because I do free readings on Sundays all the time during my radio show and when I come back home. So I'm doing a lot of free readings in a day. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. Hello? Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
My dog was
there we go.
What's your name?
Josie.
I can't see you.
Better? Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. What's your name?
Josie.
Josie, who would you like me to connect with?
My grandmother, Marie.
What's her last name?
Stringer.
How long has it been since she's crossed over?
Almost 2 years.
And your name Josie or Jody?
Josie, Josie.
So Maria Stringer is your grandma, right?
Yep.
So all you new people, when you're watching me do this, see, if you guys are watching me, this is just a scratch pad. Sometimes I use paper, but I go through it a lot, so I use this. I can't read what I'm scribbling. When you see me looking around and you see me doing the scribbling, this is called channeling, and that's when I'm able to channel through spirits so they can come through from up here, higher, heaven, paradise, whatever people decide to call it. It's a higher vibration. I call it heaven. But when I'm able to do that, I'll deliver that message again. When I do connect with her grandmother, her grandma's going to show herself looking young, and I'll give her that validation at some point when her grandma's ready to show me and other stuff for her to know that I would not know. And the reason why I'm looking to the side is because I'm waiting to see if there's any visions that are coming with the reading. They do that a lot with me. Your grandma tells me that her death was somewhat health related, but she didn't feel anything. Like towards the end, it was kind of quick. She wants you to know never got to say goodbye the way she wanted to.
Yeah.
Your grandma likes to visit you a lot at night. During the day, you're busy on your phone,
Okay.
you're busy at work or whatever you're doing with your family, whatever's going on. She says, I like to visit her at night because that's when she's laying down and settled down. So at night, when you're laying down, you might hear something moving or shuffling around in your bedroom. Does that make sense to you? She says that she's visited in dreams.
Yeah.
Pay attention with feathers with her, so it doesn't matter what size the feather is. If you see feathers in weird places you don't know from, that could be grandma saying them right here. Older people, what I get with a lot of older people when they pass away, just like when they're alive, they settle their. I mean, they're just kind of they just have their ways all settled the way it is. Like they don't do a lot of crazy things like other spirits will do to let you know they're around. They do subtle things. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I've been finding feathers.
Your grandma tells me that you two are very close. She almost raised you as your own. You understand that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your grandma tells me she doesn't want you to keep worrying about her. She goes, I'm okay now. And I'm gonna see what she looks like. Your grandma, when she comes to me in her 20s, she's got dark brown hair, it's curly, very pretty lady. When she's back, it's a different time period. Your grandma wears this nice blue dress. She's nice. She has a nice figure. She's very pretty, curly hair. Does that sound like your grandma?
Yeah, it does. I always say that she had the best style.
She comes to me like in the night from the night. Was she like in her 20s in the 1960s? Would that make sense? Or was it the 50s? Those dresses?
Maybe
I'm not good. I want to
bad,
say 60s. Huh?
I'm bad at math, but maybe.
Okay, I don't know. It's just the way they had those. I'm not. I wish I knew names for certain clothes and hairstyles with women. I don't. All I can do is do the best I can to, because I didn't know
Yeah.
what a poop was or a pouf on was until the other day. And I'm like, okay, there's certain things I don't know about women's stuff. She had sisters that passed away, correct?
Hmm.
I'm up here with my sister and my parents, so they all up to there and together in heaven. She lives up in the country. That's where she's at with her family in heaven. Exactly. How many birds and ladybugs with her? Ladybugs would represent that she liked either being outside a lot or working on the garden. But she also, the hummingbird would represent that she's always a busy woman. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
She goes, I love you, sweetie. She's like that. She's like that. She's blowing you a kiss and wave goodbye. Does that sound like her?
Yeah, it does.
Thank you, Josie, for validating that. Thank you for allowing me to do that reading for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, moderators, for coming on and helping me out, by the way. Hello?
Hi,
Hi. What's your name?
Amanda.
Thank you. And Amanda, who would you like me to connect with today?
My brother Joseph Anderson.
What's his first name?
Joseph?
Joseph Anderson.
Yeah.
How long has it been since he's crossed over? Sorry for your loss.
We're coming up on 1 year.
Okay. Give me one moment. So remember, he's going to tell you what you need, not what you want to hear.
Okay.
His death, he says, my death was unexpected because he basically didn't tell anybody why. You understand that? I didn't tell anybody why. Let me ask when he
No,
is. I hope I got the right one. You know how many Joseph Andersons are in heaven?
probably a
Okay.
lot.
Let me try something. What's his birthday? I'm going to see if I can do this one.
October 13th, 1993.
Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to clear the slate here and figure out if I can connect with the right one. Give me a second.
Okay.
Was this like health related, right?
Yeah.
His death, he said that his death seemed like it was prolonged. Was it seem like he was sick for a while?
Uh, 4 months. He was sick for 4 months.
So do you understand what he's saying? I was sick for a while, like prolonged.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pay attention to pennies. He said he visited you in a dream, so I'm not sure if you're getting dreams yet. If you're still mourning over him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you gotten the dreams?
I have had a dream. Yeah.
When the dream was, did he want to give you a hug or something?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing him going like this, like he's reaching his arms out.
Hmm.
You have kids?
No.
Who's got the kids?
My sisters?
Ask your sisters if those kids' toys go off.
Okay.
Because he says, I mess with the TVs and I mess with the kids' toys. So if the kids' toys are going off at weird times, that could be your brother. Yeah, he plays with those kids. He gets us
Okay.
another way of him getting attention. So those kids either see him or they talk to him. They know him.
Okay.
You always think of your brother's death after he passed away. Like you can't let it go on how he died.
Hmm.
And that's killing you because you can't move forward on your path. Your brother is telling me this, and he's saying that he wishes that you would stop doing that and remember him how he lived and not how he died. He goes, I wish you would have never known about this or known or was seen me this way because now she can't get it out of her head.
Okay.
It was my time. Everybody's got a time. It was my time. Was there a grandma that crossed over?
Yes, there was.
before him?
A while before him, yeah.
Yeah, because he said it was Grandma that helped me cross over. There's no way for me to know that.
Oh, wow.
So he was not alone when he went to the light. Grandma was there to bring him through.
Okay.
Pay attention to the cardinals, and he said monarch butterfly. Have you ever seen those? I've never seen those for a long time, but if you ever see those, that's going to be
I've
his
been seeing
spirit.
them a lot lately, actually, which is
The
weird.
monarchs?
Yep.
Wow. But he's saying he doesn't want to do a lot to scare you, especially because he knows how you are. So if you're not getting a lot of things that your other family members are getting, because he doesn't want to do that to you, unless you're allowing him to, and he will. But
Okay.
she gets scooped out, creeped out, or something really easy. It's spooked out really easy, is what he tells me. So he's trying to be really, careful with that. Your brother comes to me like in his 20s. I see him with short, dark brown hair, wears a hat, t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. There's
He
one
was
dog with him.
27.
Huh?
He was 27.
So he's probably around the same age then.
Yeah.
There's a dog with him, and I want to say it looks brown and white. So it's his dog, or he's taking care of some of his dog. There's a dog with him.
Okay.
He says, I've got a beautiful home up here. I got my cars I've always wanted, and I'm doing everything I want. Do me a favor and tell everybody I'm okay now. Not to worry.
Okay.
What do you want to ask him?
That was pretty much it. How is he doing?
Give me 1 second. Do you have like a blue coat or a blue jacket?
I have his blue sweater.
So maybe that's what I'm showing. Does that make sense? Something with the blue?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he heard you and he says, I'm doing great. I love it up here. But I'm down there every day.
Wow.
He wants you to talk to him more.
Okay.
I love you, sis. He's waving goodbye.
Oh. I love you too, Joe.
And when I seen him, when he was saying goodbye, like it kind of switches when I see spirits, when sometimes they'll show me different like environments or something what they're doing before they die. I mean, not before they die, before they cross over fully. So I seen him like walking on a meadow. Thank you guys. And it's like a hill, like a little hill, like these hills, and it's really beautiful. And it's like these purple or blue flowers. So he turned around and he started walking up it. That's why I seen him right before he went back in the light. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
any significant to you or not.
He just loved the outdoors.
So that's where he's at. He's happy.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you guys for the gifts. Please follow those gift givers, you guys. And please continue to do those taps. Everybody, thank you for the taps, by the way. Make sure you follow me. I do a lot of free readings all the time. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
Good. And what's your first name?
Samantha.
Samantha, who do you want me to connect with?
My grandfather, Robert
His last name?
Pfeiffer, Peiffer.
Pfeiffer?
Pfeiffer,
How long
yeah.
has it been? How long has it been since he's crossed over?
12 years.
So he's going to show himself looking young at some point, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Are you dating somebody, or are you married or something?
I'm married.
Your grandpa's not fond of this man. I don't know why. I don't know what he says. He goes, you tell her that I'm not very. He goes, you tell her I don't like him, the guy that she's with, and he goes, she knows the kind of person I like, and that's how he said it. Does that make sense? I don't know. He just wanted lets me tell you that. I don't know what's going on. Why you did not like this guy? It could be a personality thing. I don't know. I don't know the guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he says he tells it how it is. He goes, I tell it
Mm-hmm.
how it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
He loves you unconditionally, and he says, I'm just trying to look after her. You have pets.
Yeah.
Are they dogs?
I have one dog and I have a cat.
When he comes around, he says, "Yeah, let the." He goes, "When I come around, they know I'm around because those animals. Guess how he calls them animals. He goes, those animals catch on to me, so they're reacting to his spirit, his energy. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see your dog barking or acting weird at something that's not there? Thank you.
Yeah.
So he goes. That's one reason you know I'm there. Your grandpa is like a slender guy, not like he's younger, not tall. I don't see him like thin, that's slender, but like a healthy slender, right? Is that him when he's in his 20s? I see him
Yeah.
standing there drinking his coffee, sitting there watching what's going on in the house. Like he's just
Mm-hmm.
standing up drinking the coffee.
Yeah.
He says, I don't do a lot, but I'm around all the time. It's almost like a plaid button-up, long-sleeve button-up collared shirt with this guy, and he's in his 20s. That's how I see him, how I described you to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's up. He says, I'm going fishing right now. You like to fish.
Yeah.
So that means pay attention to the dragonflies with this gentleman. He has a cabin up in the mountains in heaven, but he loves to hike, and he's always fishing. He goes, that's where I'm always at. 3 dogs are running around with him. He wants you to keep in touch with him. He goes, don't forget your grandpa. Always keep in touch with him. That's what he said. He goes, I love you, kid. He's really like I think he's just ready to go. He's waving goodbye. Sorry, I was trying to get more out of him. I think he just wanted to go what he was going. Does that make sense? Is that who he is? He just gets up and goes when he
Yeah.
wants?
Yeah. Just one question. Is he with my grandmother?
Your grandmother's?
With my grandmother. It would have been his wife.
Yeah, they're together. Yeah, they're together.
Okay.
I mean, like, because he's already crossed over. But if she's in heaven, they're always together. Does that make sense? Even
Yeah.
divorced people are always together. They always seem to work it out up there. Not all the time, but they're
Okay.
still friends or they're remarried up there.
Okay. And then just one more. Does he visit my dad?
He does. He already went back into life, but he does. He does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
All
remember he
right.
was just saying goodbye. He was already leaving by then. I couldn't bring him back.
Yeah.
I can tell he was wanting to go.
Okay.
But yeah, they're always with you. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, that's how people, like when personalities don't change. Like if I'm doing a reading and you know somebody that likes to cuss a lot, I got to be careful down here because if I feel it coming on, I have to really bite my tongue or hold it back. Because in heaven they don't cuss, but when they come down here, it's like a different dimension. They'll cuss because that's their personality, and that's how you're gonna know it's them. This grandfather, she just validated that's his personality. He's always up and going. He tells it how it is, and he did. And then I validated what he looked like. No way for me to know any of this. So Every reading I do is always different. They're never the same. With each one's different. But I give validation. I just go with where I'm being, what they want to tell me. If you want a private reading with me, just message me. Half hour 65 and hours 125. Under my bio, there's a link. Click it, and that's where you're gonna. And also, like and follow me there because I also do free readings on my Facebook page. So on that one, I just pick names when I do free readings. All right. I don't understand. Don't bother me on there for free readings because I won't do free readings on a messenger. I only do free readings when I'm doing lives, just so everybody knows. Because I get people on there that just spam my messengers with free readings, and I just ignore them. So do not message me for free readings on there because I don't do free readings on messengers. I am from Montana. I love New York Yankees, though. It's my grandpa used to watch that with my grandpa. That's why I became a big fan. All right. Hello. Thank you. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you guys. Keep those taps going. I appreciate it.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Trying to figure out the camera thing. Oh, there it is. I think. No? Yes?
Thank you, Jeremy.
Oh, there I am.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your first name?
Renee.
Renee, who would you like me to connect with today?
My mom?
Sorry for your loss. What was her first and last name?
Maiden or married?
The name that she passed away with.
Juanita Rodriguez Juarez.
How do you say the last name again? Rodriguez. What was the last part?
Juarez, Juarez.
Juarez, right? So
Yeah.
Anita Rodriguez Juarez?
Yeah, that she carried all three of those names on her ID and everything.
All right. That's no problem. And then when I do connect with her, she's going to look at herself. She'll come to me looking young. Has it been over 30 days since she's crossed? Has it been a long time?
No.
Recent? Okay.
In May.
So, all right. So she's going to show herself, like I said, looking young, and she'll deliver messages that you need to hear, not what you want to hear, okay?
Okay.
Your mom, I'm assuming this is health related because she's saying, I never got to say goodbye to you the right way. And she goes, that bothered me because I was expecting to get through this. So she was hoping, somebody either told her or she was hoping that she was going to get pulled through this. Does that make sense? And then it switched,
Yeah.
something switched.
Yeah.
No, she's just reminding you that it was her timing. That's what it was. It was just, God took her. Everybody's got a time. We never know where we're going to go. We can't blame God because we don't know his ways. Your mom tells me that your mom tells me that when you were younger, she wasn't there enough for you. She wishes that she could have been there enough. There was a time. Do you remember that time?
I think so.
I don't know, but she's asking for forgiveness. If you think about it, hopefully you can let that go because she's saying, I need her to forgive me. She goes, but as she got older, me and her became all closer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, your mom's doing a lot of stuff around your house. I think your house is haunted. She's always doing something, she tells me. You've been seeing a lot of activity in your house after she's passed, right? And I'll tell you.
I don't think it's my house. I think it's hers, my dad's.
Okay, who's got the cat?
A cat?
Anybody in your family have a cat? First of all, she says, I messed with the cat. Whoever got the cat. And then she says, things have fallen from the wall. I've dropped things. Things are falling, and I dropped things from the wall. Something's falling, a picture or fell off the wall, or something falling off the wall. Sorry, I can't speak.
Okay. I know my dad's house, he has a lot of stray cats and he feeds them. Um, and yeah, they probably do have a lot of things in there in his house where she was at. She passed away in there, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
So tell your dad to pay attention to the TV as it turns off and on, or if the volume is going up or down the channels. She messes with the TV, and she goes, "I mess with the radio. I'm always in
Okay.
dreams." She goes, "I'm always visiting dreams."
Okay.
Did you get the dreams yet, or are you still mourning over your mom?
I've only had one dream. And that dream was like she was trying to assure me that she was still around. That's what I took out from the
Yeah,
dream.
that's exactly what it was.
Mhm.
She did tell me that she visits you as a hawk. She was telling her to pay
Ooh,
attention to the hawk. You're not. She goes, "You're not seeing enough yet. You're not ready yet.
yeah.
You're still mourning over your mom then." But she's doing a lot of crazy things at your dad's house because he's mourning the same way. He's going through the tunnel vision. So you guys have a hard time dealing with this because you guys are in a lot of pain. So when we're in a lot of
Mhm.
pain, we're not getting all these things around us. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And other family members may be getting them, and you'll be like, "Why isn't it happening to me?" Because as some people deal with their pain, their grief different than others. Thank you guys for the gifts. Your mom was a pretty lady when she was in her 20s. She's got dark brown hair. She would style it like curly or wavy. She liked to do stuff with her hair, not like really tight curls, but like she'd make it a little wavy yet sometimes, but usually straight. Does that make sense?
Well, the pictures I seen of her when she was young, she always had that beehive stuff.
She's laughing. She goes, "I wear that too sometimes." She's laughing, but she's always doing stuff with her hair. Then
Yeah.
was she a beautician?
No, she just always messed with her hair, like colored it, permed it, just different things.
I'm not good with women's clothing. Again, so I'm gonna do the best I can to describe what she's wearing because I don't understand what the women's their clothes. I don't know this stuff. So I think it's a white blouse, but then there's like a black um, blouse over it or something that's black. And she moves her arms and it's a little wavy under here, like the arms or something, just like a butterfly almost. I want to say it was like a butterfly, but I can't explain it. But it's a white and it's black. And she's smiling. She's got a good, nice figure. Um, I asked your mom, I go, "Do you have pets in heaven?" She said, "Yeah." And I said, "How many?" She goes, "Too many to count." And I go, "Cats or dogs?" She goes, "Both." So she a lot of cats and dogs with this lady. Your mom, your mom loved these animals. She loved them. She's bringing them in. Your mom was a big carer, right? Like loved
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah, she
So
cared about a lot of things.
and she's a big empath. So when
Yeah.
the image I'm getting with her is that I keep seeing all these cats and dogs running in the house, and heaven is where she's showing me,
Wow.
and they're everywhere. But she loves it because she cared for those animals, and they're coming back for her all the time. From they're watching over her and they're giving her love up there. They're just all these animals. She loves up there. She loves up. She
Oh,
says
wow.
I live up in the country. She goes, "I have a beautiful house." So even though her house is beautiful and she's got a lot of animals, we think sometimes a lot of people with a lot of animals is a dirty house. This is an immaculate house. But it doesn't matter because that's just who she is. She's always bringing those animals to her.
Hmm.
And that's interesting the way she would bring the stray cats to your dad's house still, too.
Well, even when she passed, they had them there.
She goes, "I want them to keep feeding." She goes, "I want them to feed them. I need them to feed them for me."
Okay.
What do you want to say to her?
Um, If I just want to know if she was doing okay and if she was happy, because at the end, she was really suffering. So I just
Oh, yeah, she's happy.
wanted.
She looks like in her 20s. I see her smiling. She's happy.
Hmm.
She's in heaven. Do you have your mom's ring or her rings?
No.
She wore a ring?
Yeah, she wore a lot of jewelry, but I didn't. I
Yeah.
don't have any of
Okay.
it.
So there's validation. Then if you don't have it, then she just told me she had rings. She did her nails. She was a nice. She dressed like a nice, like a beautiful lady, all the way till she died.
Hmm. I
So
don't know
don't,
where any of her jewelry is at. Somebody
maybe it's
took
like her
it.
dad found her, huh?
I think somebody took all her jewelry because we don't know where it's at.
No, I'm sorry. Sometimes family members do that. They wait for somebody to die
Yeah.
and then they go in and take it, and I think that's horrible. She says, "I want you to be strong and tell her I love her." Now, when a spirit shows me a birthday cake, that either somebody's either has a birthday or an anniversary that they had, or there's one coming up. So there's something about a birthday she's wearing. So I don't know if you're thinking about that or if you know who that is. She's aware of it.
Okay.
She's blowing you a kiss and she says she loves you.
I love her too. Love you, Mom.
Did that help you?
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. So that's what I do. I give validation, you guys. Validation is the truth. Understand that, like when we are mourning people really heavy, and people come to me or a medium, a lot of times they're not getting the messages other people in the family are getting, or because they're not ready. Sometimes those spirit will tell me they're not ready, or I'll just pick up on it, and I'm like, you know what? You're mourning. You're probably not getting the dreams. You're probably not getting things around you that she's saying or he's saying because we go through television, and when we're not ready to see them yet. We have to allow ourselves to heal. Thank you guys for the gifts. But her mom was it was a big empath. She took in a lot of animals, so that was really important. I like those kind of people that go above and beyond to help other people or animals. I think it's great. We need more people like that. Thank you guys for following me. Make sure you guys keep those taps going. Share the video if you like. I appreciate that. If you guys want a private reading with me, all you have to do is go under my bio, which is that little cartoon. There's a link there. Click the link, and once you go into my new Facebook page, like and follow it, then message me that you want a private reading. Half hour is $65, an hour is $125. An hour you can either get a phone or a Zoom reading. Half hour is always a phone reading, and I can schedule that with you as soon as I'm done with this. If you want it private, and you don't want anybody to see you're doing a reading. But please don't message me for private free readings on Messenger because I'll ignore it. I'm not to be mean. I just do a lot of free readings all the time, and I try to be fair with everybody on here. Until October right now. I am booked until October, but here's the thing. Before my old Facebook page was taken down and banned because it was hacked, I was out for 5 months. That's how far I was out. But and I'm picking up again. And when I start picking up, I'll be booked up to probably 2 to 3 months ahead. But right now I'm booked up a month, so that's a good thing. So get your readings in now if you want a reading soon. I can do evening readings and I can do day readings. You have to let me know. A half hour and I do hour readings. So just message me when you're ready and I can schedule a reading with you. Thank you. I appreciate your guys' support. I do. Thank you guys for the gifts too, by the way. Thank you. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Let's come back down a bit. And who do you want me to connect with?
My brother,
Okay, what
Joseph
was
D'Amato.
D'Amato?
Joseph D'Amato.
D'Amato?
Yes.
How come I don't see your face yet? There you go.
You don't
I just
see
have
me?
to. I like people to see that the expression to show people that I'm legit. That's why I do that.
Yeah.
Really quick,
Of course.
when I do connect with your brother, he's going to show himself looking young, and he's going to tell you what you want. So he's going to tell you what you need, not what you want to hear. Okay? How long
Yes.
it's been since your brother's crossed over?
4 years.
And what's your first name?
Francine.
Christine?
Francine.
Francine.
Uh-huh.
Francine?
Yes.
Okay. Try to be open, because the more open you are, the more messages are going to come through. When people are so skeptical, they can close themselves off a reading, just so you know. I had that happen plenty of
Yeah.
times. Let me see here. Joseph D'Amato, right?
Yes.
Was his death kind of like an accident?
Yes.
Do you feel he's saying that you hold yourself responsible of his death, like you could have wished you could have done something or said something? Does that make sense? Was there a time when you were feeling guilty over this? Like, does that make a guilt?
Yeah.
He says you're going through hell over this. Do you not? Is it hard for you to get over his death?
Yeah. Yep.
His death, he tells me when he passed, it wasn't, he said it was very quick. He didn't feel anything towards the end. It was that quick. But he wants you to understand that there's nothing you could have done. He wants you to forgive yourself. You've always felt responsible for him, even as when you guys were kids.
Yes.
And that's what it's like losing a kid for you.
Yeah.
Lay down. He says that he's finally free. There could be different things when a
Yeah.
spirit said that. It could mean addiction. It could mean
Yes.
mental illness.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this
Oh my
was,
God.
I'm assuming this was like an overdose?
Yes.
The addiction with the, okay,
Oh,
that makes sense.
oh my God.
I was spiraling down towards that time and I couldn't get myself back up. So it was a heavy addiction with the depression when I hear spiraling. Hold on. You kept trying to get him help, but he wouldn't listen. You kept bugging him. He doesn't like your music, by the way. Thank you guys for the gifts. So if you're playing a song or something, and he comes down and he switches it or does something to your music, that's your brother. He goes, I always come down there, I visit her in dreams, but I always like to mess with her music. So I go, why? And he goes, I don't like her stupid music. That's what he told me. That's how he said it. So I don't know what kind of music he don't like of his, or he didn't like of yours. All right, can you guys give me a second? My dog is barking. He's got to use the bathroom. I'll connect right back. 1 second, okay? I don't know if I can put this on. All right, give me 1 second. Come on, go. All right. After your brother's passed, I don't know if you remember this, but he's been known to leave things laying on the ground for you. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I've dropped cups. She had to pick up cups. So he was dropping things off tables and things. Your brother comes to me with dark brown hair, right? Short, dark brown hair.
Yes.
He wears a hat too sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
I said, I seen what he looked like. And then I said, what are you wearing? And he says, tell her I'm wearing my best. And I said, what do you mean? And it's like it's almost like it's like a, we call it blazer with the white shirt under it, but it's on, I mean, I think it's on like, unbuttoned a little bit. And it's a blazer. It's black and the shirt's white. And he's dressed really nice. It's like he's going out somewhere. He said he's dressed up to his best. That's what he said. You wouldn't recognize me because I'm all clean. That's why. That's what he said. She's used to seeing me in t-shirt and jeans. He likes to pull on your clothing. Hey, you feel like something's been yanked or pulled on your clothing in the past? You getting that yet?
I don't know.
Are you still mourning your brother?
Yeah. Yeah. We were so close. Still close.
Do you have his necklace? Or I see a necklace.
I was wearing his ashes, but I don't have it on right now. I had it on.
No matter what I tell you, what I do, you're not going to get it right now. He said, because you're not ready. Keep saying you're not ready as well. Is that, you understand that? He says, you need to let go of the blame, of blaming yourself. He goes, I did this. It was my act. I did this. I should have known better. There's nothing you could have done. Pay attention to this, guys, because you'll know it's me, because I'm always going to do something to let you know I'm there.
Pay attention to what? I'm sorry?
The skies. When you're looking up in the sky, he's always going to let you know whatever that means, because I'm always going to let her know I'm there.
I always do that. That's so funny that you just said that.
I'm doing the best I can to let you know I'm there, but you're not ready. But tell her I love her, and tell her to keep talking to me. I'm always here. He's waving goodbye. Did that sound like your brother?
Yes.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, can you give me a second? My dog's already out there barking. This dog, if you guys have a Jack Russell, I don't know if any of you guys have a Jack Russell, you know what it feels like having one. They're just crazy, these dogs. They'll bark and they won't shut up. They keep going until the cops get called. And I don't want the cops called on me, so give me 1 second. Sit. I'm back. I had to chase that dog. Catch my breath. One time I was on here, I was doing a reading, and I had to get my dog outside. And I read on here, some lady, I don't know if she's old, she seemed like she was old. She messages on here and she goes, how unprofessional. And everybody was on her for that because I had to get my dog outside. I live alone. You know, I'm doing free readings. I'm not getting paid for this. Like, what am I supposed to do? Let my dog crap in the background? You know, it's crazy. I don't understand people. She's lucky I don't have a kid in here. I can imagine what.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello?
Hi. Let me turn my camera on for you.
Okay. Thank you guys for Thank you guys for following me. Thank you guys for keep the caps going. I appreciate that. Hello.
Hi,
Hi. What's your name?
Vicky.
Vicky.
Yes.
Have I ever done a reading for you, Vicky?
No.
Okay. So, Vicky, who would you like me to connect with today?
My son,
Sorry for your loss. What was his first and last name?
Malcolm Willis.
Malcolm Withers. Did I say it right?
Willis. Willis. Willis.
So, Malcolm Willis.
Yes.
How long ago since he's passed?
Tomorrow will be 10 months.
Was this like a murder?
Yes.
And that is so creepy. There's no way for me to know that. So as soon as I wrote his name down, I kept getting murder.
Yeah.
And I haven't even connected with him yet.
Can you read my name?
Vicky?
On the box, it says Justice for Malcolm Willis.
Oh, no, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. I can't see it. It doesn't show the whole thing on there.
Yeah.
I thought, when I first saw it, I thought your name was Justice. I'm sorry. People always put their first names on there, so I don't even pay attention at the time. Sorry. So sometimes that could also mean like justice for somebody, and like, well, I guess not. But yeah, there's no way for me to know that. Like a murder. I kept getting the murder.
Yes.
Let me find out. How old was he when he passed?
21.
Now I'm going to see what he's got to say, what he wants to show me, and tell me what he wants to say, okay?
Okay.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Tell my mom what happened to me. It was quick. I didn't feel anything. And from what she knows in her head, it looks like I suffered. I didn't suffer. She goes, what they did, he said they. He goes, what they did to me, Mom, it was quick. So there must have been more than one.
Yes, there was.
You must feel his presence. He says he thinks you feel him when you're sitting down talking with him. Like you talk to him all the time. And he says, my mom knows I'm there because I know she feels me.
Yes.
You must talk to him. There were more than two people involved in this murder.
Yes.
I keep getting the number 4. There might be more, but 4. Does that make sense to you?
It's a lot of them. It's a cover up.
Was this like a beat? He got beat to death?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. They beat him to death.
The blow on his head was the one that took him. Does that make sense? Or something at that moment that he was able to jump out.
Yes.
So when these people that murdered him, they were beating him up for who he was or who he is, they did this to him out of hate. There was a lot of hate involved. But he's saying, I don't want people to turn that around and hate after this. He doesn't want that. He's not that kind of guy. He says, I'm not that kind of person. I want it to be so people can love and understand. I don't want people to get angry about it, and I know they will, and I don't want people to get revenge. That's for God. They murdered me because of what I stood for and who I am. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
They were prejudiced of me. They didn't understand who I am. They looked at me, and then they hated me, and then they beat me down, Mom. They murdered me.
I know. I know.
And all I did was say, stop, stop. And they wouldn't hear me. Because Mom, I didn't cuss at them. I didn't encourage them to do it more. I just kept saying, stop. I want you to know I'm okay now. I don't have any bruises on me. She's like this, I don't have any bruises on me anymore. I'm healed, Mom. He's a young man, short black hair. He wears a t-shirt and jeans. Dark brown or black hair, is that him?
Yes.
T-shirt and jeans. And I see him like walking, but he carries his coat over his shoulder like that or something. I see him like carrying a coat, like he's walking like that. He has his coat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that how he walked with his coat? Just walking.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to know that. And he wants you, he goes, Mom, I'm asking you and I'm begging you, please forgive yourself because I know you're a mom and you wanted to help me. You wanted to be there. You wanted to fight them off for me. And I know you would have done that, Mom. But you got to let that go. But I'm never going to leave you.
I'll let it go after his accusers are brought to justice. I'll let it go and I'll have peace with it. But right now I can't because of how he was taken and who did it.
I always come to you as rainbows and birds. So I said, what kind of birds? Because usually they tell me what kind of birds. And he says, any kind. He goes, she knows it's me. I'll go in different forms. I'll get her attention. She knows it's me. He goes,
Yes.
he goes, I like variety. I like variety. I had to forgive them. In heaven, I had to learn why they were like that, Mom. And it's not an excuse of what they did to me. They made that choice, but I had to forgive them.
So he's the one that's been coming to me, telling me that I have to forgive him. I've been working on it.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. I can't imagine your pain as a mom, though. It was, Mom, their history, they were abused and they were taught hate. And they never told us not to be around other people like us.
Yeah.
They were prejudiced. They hated. They're racist. They hated me because they didn't know me. They never got a chance to know who I am.
Yeah.
You know, all I was doing is minding my own business.
I know.
Well, it's hard even for me to allow, even as a messenger, it's hard because I'm seeing images at times of what he's showing me and how he's using to talk through me. You have a beautiful son.
I know how he was taken. I know everything.
You hold his clothing a lot when you talk with him. So you're talking with some article of clothing. And that's how you communicate with your son. That's what he shows me.
Yeah, because it has his scent on it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He's been known to blink the lights, I think you said, in the bathroom and the bedroom. I think you told me. But he says, I do a lot of things around her at times to let her know I'm there, so it'll help her.
Yes.
Like, I see something on on a shelf, and it just falls. Like, he does things like he just drops things, and will make a noise. And he's like, Mom, I'm right here. It's not that he's mad. He's saying, Mom, I'm right here.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does that too.
Like tapping noises.
Yes.
He's also he likes to hide things too at times. He says, I hide things and she finds them. So he's doing little things. But he's saying, I'm doing this because my mom's hurting so much. I want her to know that I'm with her. I've never left her. I want you to remember everything that we had together, Mom. Me and you were really close. You taught me to love and not to hate. That was the difference between me and them. You were a good mom. You were the perfect mom.
Oh.
I want you to know that God feels your pain. And he has mercy on you, Mom. He knows. Your son was very energetic personality. He liked to sing. He liked to laugh. He liked to dance. It's just what he did. He was just always making people laugh. He was always fun. Does that make sense? Happy. Always something making people smile.
Yeah.
There was grandparents that passed before him, correct?
Yes.
I'm up here with Grandma and Grandpa. I could have sworn he said that. I live up here in a beautiful house overlooking the ocean, Mom. It's beautiful up here. I made a lot of friends. Grandma likes to travel. I'm traveling a lot with Grandma. She's showing me everything. So I'm okay. I don't want you to worry because I'm always down here. I'm always up there. Are you thinking about getting a tattoo? He talks about the tattoo. Or do you have the tattoo? He's just saying the tattoo in his memory. Then there's a
Can you see
you
it?
got the tattoo.
It's on my
There
arm.
it is. Yeah. There's no way for me to know that. And he's thanking you for doing this foundation or something that you're doing. The foundation, is that what it's called, the foundation? There's something in his honor.
Sorry, yeah, I do have one. Yeah.
He said this is gonna put a lot of light on a lot of light on this, Mom, and things will change with the law. You push it. He goes, you keep pushing that, like you have.
Keep pushing what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know.
I'll never stop.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. I don't know why I'm seeing this, Vicky, but I keep seeing like a handprint, like in a vision, like a handprint. He's showing me a handprint. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I want to throw that out there. If that has to do with the foundation, what he's talking about, or if that has something else to do with something else, like a handprint. I can't explain it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Something. It could be something some evidence that's on his body. He was brutalized. by the
Okay,
people
so
that
that
are supposed to protect.
what's that?
He was brutalized by the people that are supposed to protect us.
The police? Are you there, Justice? I mean, are you there, Vicky? She froze. Are you there?
The live is freezing. It's probably because of him. Yeah, I'm here. The live is freezing. It's probably
Oh,
because of him. His energy is very strong.
yeah, it is. So this was the police that did this to him? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is what he wants you to fight. He wants you to fight for this so that things can change.
Yes.
Not
I
every
am.
colored kid, not every gay kid is what or stereotype of what these cops think they are. And I've seen this because I used to work at a youth jail for 19 and a half years. And people tell me that it doesn't happen. It happens. It happens. I've seen,
Yes.
I might want to say too much, but I've seen kids get beat up pretty bad by certain cops. And they
Yes.
brought in there. We had to write reports on them. And it's horrible. No, but even a kid shouldn't be
Yes.
beaten like that, like an adult. But
Their story was that he unalived himself, but with their own evidence shows they did it.
he goes, my mom's going to get him for everything they got. And I don't blame you. I would too. There, and I've said this on here before. I was on here one time. There, I don't know if you watched some other videos on here. There's it's on my page. There's a mom on here. Her daughter was beaten by the cops too, and then a cop beat her up and threw her over the bridge, and she died before she hit the water. And if you watch the video, I want to hear, you'll see it. I don't know which one it is, but she talks about that, and it's basically similar to what your son is going through, maybe different, but it's police brutality. There's like you're right. You're supposed to be protecting people, not beating
Yes.
people up. And all the girl was trying to do, she tried. Her boyfriend was beating her up, and I think she called the cops. Is what I'm kind of getting out of it. The cops came. She was acting irate a little bit, and then the cops tried to control her. When they were trying to control her, I think they hurt her really bad and murdered her. So I'm kind of got out of that, and it's a sad story, And some of these cops should not be cops.
Yes.
They should be going through like psychological profiling before they become cops. Too many sociopaths, narcissistic people out there, and psychopathic cops. They should not be out there. There are good cops. There are awesome cops out there, but the ones like that should not be doing it. And yours is not the only case that's come out here like that. And I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to say to your son?
I just tell him that I love him. I love you, Malcolm. And Mama's never going to stop. And I'm going to tell him I'm going to protect his babies always for as long as I live.
I love you, Mama. I know you would. Tell everybody I'm okay now. There's no more bruises.
I will. Thank you.
I'm happy. Don't remember. I know, Mama, you're going to always remember me how I died, but try not to dwell on it too much. Remember me. Don't remember that. I'm happy.
Yes.
I love you,
Thank you.
Mama. Just waving goodbye.
I love you too, Malcolm.
He's with you. Yeah.
Thank
Every time we
you.
think of them, we talk to them, we talk about them, they're always with us. So you know. Did that help
Yes.
you?
Thank you so much.
And I'm so sorry for
Yes,
your
it
loss.
did.
God bless
Thank
you,
you
and
so
you be
much.
strong. And then you have my prayers and my thoughts with you because I'm on your side of this. Because I know what some of these cops are like. They're good cops, and then there's these narcissistic, sociopathic cops that should not be out there. I totally get it. And then you have the cops that are in the good old buddy system that try to help each other out. That needs to go
Yeah,
too. And
that's
I
what
used to
I'm
work in
doing.
that field. I know exactly those kind of people, what they do. And people
We
say
go
it
to
doesn't
boys.
happen. You don't work in that field. They don't know. It does happen. So you be strong and you make that law change if you can.
Yes,
We need it. No more kids passing away.
I am. Yes,
God bless you.
that's my goal. I appreciate you. Bless you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being strong to come on here. God bless you.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, those are tough readings I have to do, you guys. Sometimes these readings are not always easy. You know, there's even Catholic priests that have been known to murder people, nuns that have murdered people. You know, you never know who to trust your kids around. You know, you can't trust your kids around a coach, a priest, a pastor. You can't trust them around grandparents. Some grandparents, you can't even trust them around a cop. You know, if you think in your head that all these people are trustworthy, you're blind to the truth. We're all taught that we can trust these people, but the truth comes out later on, and we can't trust them all. Everybody should be on alert when you're leaving your kids alone with people, or always knowing where your kids are at. You never know. There's so much evil in this world, so much ignorance and sickness. And her son was right. It was all racism. They beat this poor kid up because they didn't know him. They beat him because they assumed of what he was. He wasn't a thug. He was just a kid. And they did that. And it happens more than we think, and it's unfortunate. I feel bad for that mom. My heart goes out. It's a sad situation, you guys. I said that a million times. Just be careful where your kids are at. You know, you never can trust anybody anymore. Everybody that we thought we can trust, we're learning we can't. Scary world.
No.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I'm trying to connect the camera.
Okay, what
hey.
are you? I'll try to see if you're on the camera first.
All right, hi.
And what's your name?
My name is Mallory. I'm actually on my mom's TikTok.
Mallory or Valerie?
Mallory.
Mallory, who would you like me to connect with today?
I'd like you to connect with my grandfather. His name's Michael Wagner.
Okay. And how long has it? Sorry for loss. How long has it been since your grandpa passed?
11 years.
Okay. So he's going to show himself like a young man. So give me 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
He's very grateful that you always came in to check on him before he passed. Thank you guys for the gifts. He goes, you're one of the few grandkids or family members that would do that. He goes, I'll never forget that.
Oh, yeah.
She'd always come in and visit me and check up on me. She goes, you don't understand those little visits that you give us, that our grandkids give us. That means so much to us. It helps us.
Oh.
The places you always feel alone in those places. He goes, I'm always feeling alone in those places.
Wow.
He says that he would visit you in dreams, but then he says that he visits you and then you sense him. And sometimes I'll ask the spirit, like, what do you mean sense? And he goes, smell. Did he smoke or was it a cologne? Do you smell that?
Yeah. In the funeral, when during his funeral procession, I would smell like flowers, like a flower magnolia smell. So when I smell that, I think it's him, but I'm almost positive now it probably is him.
You got validation there because that's what he says. He senses me and I go, how the smell is what he said.
Wow.
Your grandpa was in the military at some point, right?
No, I don't think so.
Who's in the military that's jumping in? Was it your great grandpa or who? There's a man in a uniform.
It may be my other grandpa. He was military.
Did they have the same name?
No.
All right, so I'm going to ask whoever this is to hold on because I'm going to try to connect back with Michael. And that usually does happen when I ask the spirit to show themselves. Another one will jump in, and it'll be somebody else in that family that's trying to jump in at times.
Okay.
He's a young man. I see him wearing like a button-up collared shirt, but then he wears a sweater over it. So I can see the collar coming out of that. Like
yeah.
a white collar. And it's like
Yeah,
a wool sweater or something.
that picture.
But he looks like in his 20s where I see him.
Yeah.
Your grandpa loved the outdoors. Anytime he got a chance, like he loved playing outside. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I like golfing. I like going out there hiking. I like being out and everywhere I can be. I like the sun. He goes, I can never get enough of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
He loved his family, liked some sports, but his biggest thing was his family for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the holidays, everybody got together.
Yeah.
Did he have a birthday, or did somebody just celebrate a birthday?
Not that I could think of.
I'm seeing somebody put a piece of cake in front of him, and I don't know if that's a memory he's sharing with me. There's a piece of cake, like a slice of cake. I don't know why I'm seeing that.
Right before my birthday he passed. Right before my birthday he passed away, and we had cake. Maybe that could be it.
Maybe I bet that's probably he was there. Maybe that's why he had that cake, and he's saying he was there with you.
Wow.
Here's you tell those girls that I love them and tell them they better keep up talking with me because I'm always around.
Aw, okay.
And I'm always checking in on that house and making sure everything's okay. I'm always proud of them. You don't stop being what you're doing. You keep helping people. I love you. Anything else you want to say to your grandpa?
Tell him I love you, and I'll see him soon. And I love him coming around when I love him being around when I sense him. I know it's him.
I'm never gonna leave you, girls, because I love you so much.
Aw.
Did that help you?
Yes, it definitely did.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
that.
you.
So you guys, if you guys watch my readings, like I said before, different. They're never the same. I mean, some can be really quick, like this one. It's just their personalities. Their personalities don't change. Some a little bit longer. I can't tell you how long a reading is going to be with me with one spirit compared to another spirit. I don't know. So if you guys want to schedule a private, somebody's asking how to schedule a private reading with me. So you see when you first come on, you see that cartoon of me, that little cartoon guy. That's my profile. Under my profile, there's a link. Click the link and it'll take you to my Facebook page. Message me and ask me about scheduling a reading with you. A half hour, 65 is phone. An hour is 125 is phone or Zoom. And I can schedule you with that as soon as I'm done with this. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. My link isn't working. Oh, great. Can somebody click on the link and see if it's working again? It was working earlier. Will somebody click on it and tell me? If not, let me know and I'll see if I can fix it. Thank you guys for following me. Oh, good. It takes me to my Facebook page, so it does work. So click on the link. It'll take you to my my Facebook page, you guys. And then message me there. People are saying it's working, so it's working. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I just want to double check. Sometimes it doesn't work, and I have people tell me why, but sometimes it does and it doesn't. I don't know why.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah, who'd you like me to connect with today?
With my dad.
I'm sorry for your loss. How long has it been?
A year in August.
What's his first and last name?
Daryl Rader.
Daryl Rader?
Daryl, D-A-R-R-E-L, Rader.
Yeah. Maynard?
Rader.
Rader. Daryl Rader, right?
Yeah, hold on, Vera.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Okay. You were just outside. You quit. You go lay down. Go on, go lay down. So when I do connect with him, he's going to show himself looking young. He won't look like his age before he died, okay?
Okay.
I need her to forgive me. My death was quick. There was no way for me to pass this or fight this. You understand what he's saying? There's no way for me to fight this or beat this. Whatever he's
Yeah,
talking about. Was he talking about health?
I don't know. He was sick
Excuse me.
for like a week, and my mom had called from work, and my daughter went in and found him. My
There's something,
8-year-old.
before I go any further, is it right here? The chest?
I think he had pneumonia or something.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
I couldn't breathe for a minute. I was like trying to catch my breath. And you heard me coughing? That was when it
Yeah,
first happened. And I was trying to catch my breath a little bit. So he's showing me how he's dying. This is right here.
yeah, they said that when we called the medics and they tried to revive him, they said that if he would have sat up, it would have been fine. But when he laid back, that his lungs filled up.
Yeah. And that's crazy. There's no way for me to know that. I got that weird cough out of the blue, and then that's what he was showing me. And the next thing I'm just trying to catch my breath. I thought it was COVID because I didn't want to assume, but I knew it was right here. That I kept going like this. It's the chest. That's what he was showing me, and that's what I
Yeah,
was feeling. There was something going on here.
it was bad.
I should have listened to the doctors prior to this, and I'm sorry. So he was warned about something in the past. So he wasn't something in the past about his health that
Well,
contributed up to this point.
I tried to get him to go to the doctor, and he was a Marine, and he told me, he said, no. He said, I'm a man. He said, I don't need to go to the doctor.
So when he's saying I should have listened, was he talking about you?
I think so, because I told him a couple days he was turning gray 2 days prior. And I said, Dad, let's make an appointment. And he said, no. He said, I'm a man. I'm a Marine.
He visits you in dreams, he tells me, but he also visits you as a hawk. So pay attention to those two things.
Can you ask him if he wakes me up in the middle of the morning, early morning?
Yes, he sits at the end of your bed. And I see him, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to grab your leg or try to shake you or something. He's trying to say, wake up.
Because I wake up. Can you ask him what the deal is with his oldest grandson? Why he's acting up?
One second. He's acting like that because he's growing up. He's going through the change. So I'm assuming it's hormones.
Okay.
And it's because he's got a lot of anger about something. He's not dealing with his anger. Something happened and he's not ready to work with it. He needs to talk to somebody about it before it gets crazy. Because he's saying he's worried that his grandson's going to start picking up the heavy drugs.
Well, he's only 4.
That's what he's worried about.
They said that he might be borderline low functioning autism.
So this kid needs help.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. The kid's angry though. The kid's always angry.
Oh. Yeah. Is there anything that he wants me to tell my mom?
He loves her very much, and there are times where she feels lonely when she talks to him, and he still lays next to her in bed. But he's always there. She still talks to him.
Is there anything that he wants to tell any of his granddaughters, or anything he wants to tell me?
He goes, just tell everybody I'm doing okay, because I don't want to take up this guy's time, is what he just told me. He goes, you tell everybody I'm doing okay. He goes, I'm happy. That's exactly how he said it.
He didn't like being around people, so he's probably like, oh my goodness, what is she doing?
Your dad comes to me in his 20s. He's got short, dark brown hair. See him with some facial hair. He's smiling. Yeah, he's showing me his uniform too.
Mm-hmm.
When he's not wearing that, he's wearing his t-shirt and jeans kind of guy.
Is he with Grandma and Grandpa?
They have a beautiful house on the lake, is what he told me.
Nice.
Yeah,
No.
Grandpa and Grandma live near. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You are so amazing. I've been waiting and waiting to get
Well,
on
thank
with
you.
you.
I
You are
appreciate
so.
that.
I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for allowing me to do this validation. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks, guys, for the gifts. What's your first name?
Jason.
Jason.
hmm
And who you want me to connect with, Jason?
My mom, Cindy Stanton.
What's your last name?
Stanton. Stanton.
Sorry for your loss. How long has it been since your mom's crossed over?
3 years.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I want you to forgive me because I never got to say goodbye to you. I didn't want you to see me this way. You understand? That's how she said it. You keep at the time, or you kept thinking about that you could have done something to help your mom live longer. Like you in your head is like, if I would have done this, maybe I could have helped her or encouraged her. But you keep going, you're always going in your head about ways of helping or making your mom better. And does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
She wants you to forgive yourself and don't go there anymore.
Okay.
Did your mom pass away without you knowing why or without you having answers or something?
Yeah. She got real sick real quick. I didn't even realize she was in the hospital.
Because she's telling me I need him to forgive me because I wasn't up front with him or told him the truth because I didn't want to worry him.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be mad at me. I did this because I loved you and I didn't want you to worry about me. She always visits you through dreams, and she says I always come to him through music. So there's music that you play that you think of your mom or her music, and she comes down at that moment, and you must feel her talk with her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You were laughing. Is there a story behind that?
I've been a musician for 20 years.
Oh, that's crazy. She's always with you. She said she's always been proud of you, too. Your mom, when she visits also, she likes to make noises. So things, you might hear a tapping noise, or you might hear something that fell, and you do like, what was that noise in the middle of the night or during the day or something? And you're like, how did that happen? Your mom that's how she gets your attention. It's like the noise. That's how she knows she's going to get your attention. She says that you're a very busy guy a lot of times, so it's the best way that she can deal. You and your mom are close. You guys did a lot together.
Yep.
I want you to remember me that way, and not how I died, honey. I don't want you to worry about me about like that because I'm not that way anymore. I'm healthy and I got my figure back, she said. Let me see what she looks like. Your mom was very pretty. She comes to me like in her 20s. I don't want to explain it. Like light brown hair, curly, wavy, medium length. Not like tight curls, but kind of like wavy, lengthy, I guess. Like wavy, maybe, curls. She's smiling. Like a dark blue dress. Not like, I don't want to say it's a gown. I want to say it's like a dark blue dress. Looks really nice on her. Your mom has ocean beachfront property, she tells me, and she's happy where she's at. There's a dog with her. I want to say it. I saw it really quick. I could be wrong. I want to say it looked like it was blue. I mean, not blue, but brown. Sorry, brown.
Mm-hmm.
She tells me she's got 2 cats too. So she's either taking care of these animals or they were hers. So these animals are with her. Was your mom? Put this. I keep seeing her pull something out of her shirt. Like she's showing me something like a cross necklace or something. I want to say it looks like a cross necklace. I can't see it, but that's what I want to say what it looks like. And she keeps pointing it to me. Like she wants to. Is that your mom or is that somebody else jumping in?
Not that I can think of, no.
What's that?
No, we weren't super. Not that I could think of. No, we weren't like super
Does that
religious
sound like somebody
growing
else
up or
jumping
anything.
in that you might know?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, I'm gonna. If it does come to you, that might come to you later on. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but
Sure.
whoever this is very adamant about showing me the cross necklace. So I just gotta throw it out there at this moment. Was your mom a musician too?
No, I was the first one in the family.
You were the musician,
Yeah.
but she loved
Yeah, neither of
music.
my parents played music growing up. She did, yeah. She was huge into like 80s rock and roll, Led Zeppelin, all those guys. Funny enough, I dug through her vinyls one day at my grandparents. I called her. I was like, "You used to be cool. What happened?" She goes, "I had you."
Mom had good taste. I keep getting awards. Awards. Do you have the awards, or your mom has the awards?
So I
She
had a
was talking
couple
about the
in high,
awards.
I had a
Huh?
couple in high school for music and stuff. Yeah.
What do you want to ask your mom?
Is she excited for the wedding?
There's nowhere else I was going to be. You know, I'm going to be there. I'll walk with you down the aisle. I want you to pay attention that day because I'm going to find a way of letting you know I'm there. She goes, you need to keep an eye out. She loves your wife. She goes, I'm so excited. Yeah, she's going to be there. I asked her, I said, what are you going to do at your son's wedding to let him know you're there? And I kept getting a bird. So she might come as a certain bird that you're going to know it's her. She ain't going to tell me. She goes, I'm not going to tell him right now. It's going to be a bird. So this bird's going to get your attention, or you're just going to know it's your mom when you're there. Some kind of bird. She's going to show herself as a bird. She goes, I'm thinking about also leaving something for him to pick up that he knows it's going to be me. She goes, he knows I'm never going to leave him.
Yeah.
I love you, son. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
And she says, I love you so much. She says, goodbye. Does that help you?
A lot, yeah.
Thank you so much for allowing me to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys, I've been doing readings for 2 hours. I think I'm out at this moment, and I've been doing readings on the radio for a while too, all day. I gotta stop. I gotta listen to my body when it tells me enough's enough. So if you guys want to schedule a private reading with me, click on under my bio, and there's that link. Message me under there, like and follow me on there, because I do a lot of free readings on my Facebook page. I'm starting to do that as well. So make sure you guys are following me on here too, because I do a lot of free readings on Sundays. Sundays are my day of giving back over the radio. And here Sundays, I'm always doing free readings. Follow me on here, please, and message me under my bio. Click the link, and I can schedule a reading with you. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for the taps. Thanks, moderators. Thank you guys for the gifts. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thank you guys for allowing me to do this. You guys have a good night. I'm just going to relax and gain my energy back and schedule readings at this point. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. God bless you.